it's about the console sales. Why? I told you guys that Sony was not making enough money on their exclusive games. Now we having conversations with them raising the price of games again. You raised it to 70. Now it's $100. I told you people already. GameStop with another W.
How do I even begin this rant? Because we need to talk about
I seen this coming a mile away, bro. Just by looking at the budget that Sony was investing into their exclusive games. And they weren't making the same amount of money back. You can look back prior to about 4 to 5 months and see me talking about it. But no, Gamester, you wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. Look at that. You laugh now, cry later.
very negative topic.
Uh-oh.
An issue that I feel like is very bad for gamers. Sony wants to raise the price of video games
Again.
to $80 or even $100 per game. This is completely bonkers.
But it isn't, though. If you guys want Sony to come up with the PlayStation 6, you have to buy it. You have to buy these games for $100. You have to. Because at this point, these companies are getting sick and tired of losing money on their exclusive first-party games. So if you guys want to see Sony the same way you see today, well, guess what? You better spend $100 for their first-party games. I'm sorry. That's what it's come down to. And if you don't, well, like I've told you guys before, Sony will no longer continue to manufacture consoles.
To be honest, I'm very not happy about it, but I want to talk about all that.
Well, there's always Xbox with Game Pass. Pay $15 a month to play third-party and exclusives day one. This is why I try to tell you guys, this is the direction of video gaming. So essentially what they're doing is they're trying to kill the concept of physical media by making it so expensive to the point where it's like, why would you people even pay for it? You might as well just subscribe to the subscription service and play it. That is the whole idea, man. I told you this, man. And yet all you people did was deny it. Oh, it's not going on, Gamester. You don't know what you're talking about. Just for me to get awarded another W.
Intricacies of this, why they're trying to jack up the cost, why they think this is a solution, and why this is even a problem in the first place.
It's a problem because enough people from the PlayStation community are not buying Sony's first-party games. I told you, every person that went out there and bought a PlayStation 5 bought it to play Fortnite, Call of Duty. I hate going through the same list of games. You people know what I'm talking about. That's what people are playing on PlayStation. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you fanboys, but ain't nobody care about your exclusive games. This is why Sony is raising the price to $100 for their first-party games.
But let's get into it. Hi, I'm Dreamcast Guy. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it. Part is only $50 instead of like $60 for a disc. But now, in order to get the entire experience, you're going to have to pay a lot more than your standard $70 price tag.
What? Sony's planning on releasing Spider-Man 3 in 3 different parts? No different than Final Fantasy 7? Are you kidding me, bro? Hey, what did I tell you guys, man? What did I tell you guys, bro? You're essentially buying Spider-Man 3 different times, bro. You're trying to tell me that this game is this massive? We have gone to the days of where games have to be on 3 or multiple discs nowadays, except this time you're paying full price for the whole storyline when back then you had the whole full game. I mean, come on, man. You gamers are going to eat this up, bro. And for all you people saying, oh, yeah, gaming is doing good. All you people doing is being delusional, bro. At this point.
Spider-Man 3 is going to be in 3 parts. 2 parts for the main game and a multiplayer that's sold separately for a grand total of $150.
Unbelievable, bro. This is what you Sony fanboys doing. And you know what's even more crazy? Hate to say it, Grand Theft Auto is going to follow suit too. A lot of third-party companies are going to see what Sony's doing and be like, all right, now it's time for us to overprice our games too. You see, I thought Sony was the market leader. I thought they had everything under control, but apparently they don't, right? And this is why I try to tell you PlayStation fanboys, if anything, Sony is hurting the gaming industry, bro. If they're the market leader and this is what they're doing by having to release Spider-Man 3 in 3 different parts, and the funny thing is, they kind of already done that already, right? With Spider-Man Remaster, Spider-Man Miles Morales, right? That's kind of a segmented game. A lot of people thought Miles Morales was DLC to Marvel Spider-Man, right? So essentially, you kind of already paid for 2 separate games that were essentially the same thing, right? So this is not a surprise to me. And the funny thing is, y'all, like, Sony's not trying to do that. Look at how the way they labeled Last of Us. Last of Us Part 1 remake, Last of Us Part 2 remaster. Look at how they're labeling their games, man. This is crazy, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, man, they're just taking advantage of the hardcore PlayStation fans. If this is what Sony's doing, I'm sorry. I'm no longer a PlayStation fan. I can't be, because this is not the type of stuff that I want to see coming from PlayStation.
Now, I want to talk about this, where this information came from, and
Look at
verify
this.
it.
Salty, bro. Look at putting his hands right between the side of his nostrils. He's like, I can't believe this, man. This dude was probably crying in a pillow, bro. We try to tell you, PlayStation fans. We try to warn you, but nope. Ain't none of you guys want to listen to me, man. I told you, if you guys want your information, come to Gamesta's channel. I know everything, bro. Like I said, I'm not saying that I'll get everything right, but if you notice, I seem to know where the direction of video gaming is going. I told you guys the inevitable future. The only difference is you people are looking at it emotionally. I told you, bro. They're trying to cater to a new audience of gamers. They don't care about the people that played back on the PlayStation 1, 2, or 3 back in the days. They don't care, bro. They're trying to appeal to a new audience because, honestly, you can sucker a new audience with this, but you're not going to sucker a hardcore gamer that has been gaming for over multiple years and generations.
Actually looked at it myself, but here it is real quick. So,
unbelievable.
Essentially, there was the huge Insomniac.
And what's even crazy, y'all didn't check that, they even planning to do a Spider-Man multiplayer mode. So it just goes to show you that multiplayer is also very important in today's gaming landscape.
There was a data breach, people cracked into it, and they posted...
It's so funny because this goes back to EA's initial argument. Remember when they said single-player games aren't the future? I actually agreed with them at that time because you looked at the most popular games and they all happen to be multiplayer. EA's words can't be any more true nowadays. Look at it. It's true. EA told you single-player games ain't the future, to the point where they got to put multiplayer in Marvel Spider-Man. I mean, how desperate does Sony have to be? Instead, they would rather do that than to revitalize some old IPs like Resistance and Killzone. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, why even do that for a Spider-Man game?
Almost 2 terabytes of confidential data. And part of this was all these financial slides, which were essentially...
Also, I'd like for you to bring up the fact that Insomniac has put on record that they were scared of Microsoft and Activision acquisition, but you're not going to talk about that.
Them talking about how to make more profit. Because PlayStation is in an odd spot.
Go ahead. But I thought it didn't matter. I thought they was making money off consoles, right? Isn't that why you people out here talking about 50 million PlayStation 5 consoles sold? I told you guys that was nothing but a projection and a deflection. Real gamers seen right through it, bro, and now look at it. Now I just won another W. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy that you people awarded me wins just because of your own stupidity.
Make a ton of cash. They are very big, very lucrative, but their production costs have been going up.
Now you people want to talk about it. I've been talking about this for months, talking about how Sony's investing money into games and not making that money back with games like Forspoken and Final Fantasy 16. And all you PlayStation fanboys did was deny and say, Square, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're saying. You're telling Jim Ryan, he don't know what he's talking about. They're not actually losing money. We knew you fanboys was going to get to this point, bro. But at the end of the day, Sony's like, man, regardless of what you fanboys saying, we need the money. We out here losing money on a lot of projects that we out here doing for our fan base. And we told you. But y'all didn't want to address it. You guys let it get so bad to the point where Sony can't even recuperate now. It's already over for them. We told you.
Actually making these games.
You see? And the funny thing is, and if Sony does cease to exist, it's going to be disheartening. But at the end of the day, this is what you PlayStation fanboys deserve. We tried to warn you. Like I said, I've been gaming for quite some time. I know how these things work. And the funny thing is, aren't you a Sega fan? So you should have seen this coming a mile away, man. I know I was a Sega fan, and I could see, like, hold on. I remember how the Dreamcast was successful, but they weren't making the money that they needed for their software, right? I can clearly see that as a Sega fan. That's how I know you never grew up with the Dreamcast, because if you did, you would have understood as to what the problem is with Sony and how they're going through this issue right now. I'm telling you, Sony's going to end up like the next Sega.
Expensive. Wolverine is costing hundreds of millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation 5, Rift
But
Apart.
but you're not addressing the elephant in the room, though. This wouldn't have been a problem if you PlayStation fanboys went out there and bought your exclusives, though. That's the reason as to why Sony is taking advantage of their hardcore diehard fans, because they're like, you know what? They're not making the money. We want to see PlayStation have another console. So guess who's getting hurt? The hardcore PlayStation fan, because those are the only ones that are going to go out there and spend $100 on an exclusive game, right? But even then, we do have boundaries. We do have standards, and Sony is in murky territory, bro. It's sad to see Sony go out like this, man, honestly.
It's an amazing game. Technically, even though that sold millions of copies, it didn't make enough money.
Woo! GameStop with another W. Hey, yo, you know what's so funny? It's so crazy how you people be collecting super chats, right? But I'm the one spreading the truth and awareness. Y'all people getting money for misinformation. I'm telling you, look at my old videos. Anybody that has been following my channel knows I've been talking about this for months. Now you people want to address it. Oh, you know, Sony ain't making that much money. You know, they putting all the money, all because of this information leaked out. No, all you people was doing is being delusional. I'm telling you, this leak happens to be the best thing that has ever happened in the gaming industry. Y'all like, that's not true. Yes, because it exposed a lot of things that you fanboys kept wanting to deny. Now you can't deny this no more because the leaks is right there in front of you.
Actually, what's happening right now is that games are just getting so pricey to make.
Mm-hmm.
Not all games, obviously. I mean, cool indies like Dredge and Sea of Stars, Hades.
Don't tell me the PlayStation is going to be an indie station.
That's just as fun as big budget games.
Sounds like a PlayStation fanboy settling for double A's, bro. Look at this, man. When you was out here mocking Xbox and Nintendo for AA games, now look at it. Now Sony's going to be doing the same thing. I mean, that's crazy, bro. You reap what you sow.
They're not as graphically impressive, but this weird obsession with chasing the biggest, craziest crap.
I mean, that's the whole point of next generation, though. What is the point? And this is why consoles will cease to exist, because they hit their limit in what people are willing to pay for a console. You see what I mean? All right, let me ask you guys this, right? You want PlayStation to have a 6? You want PlayStation to have a 6 and a 7? I got you. Buy a PlayStation 6 for $1,500 while also paying $100 for their exclusive games. PlayStation 6 and 7 will exist if you do that. But if you're paying $500 for a console, $70 for exclusive games that you people aren't really buying, then I hate to break it to you, Sony's not making enough money to want to continue bringing out games for the general public. I told you. Most console gamers be like, at that point, I just go to PC. There you go. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why gaming is going through live service and subscriptions, because the general landscape of a console has capped out. No different than arcades and home consoles, right? It went from arcades, and then people was able to get the arcade experiences at home to the point where they didn't have to spend quarters, right? And there you go. They were playing it at home, therefore arcades died. Same thing is going on with consoles. It was consoles and now it's PC, bro. You can clearly see it. Even the PlayStation and Xbox Series use PC gaming architecture.
That's the most visually appealing experiences.
Well, that's the whole point. I mean, I'm sorry, bro. I buy a next generation platform for next generation games, because at that point, then I'll just stick to the old generation. We can argue, because y'all, I love when people say, well, why does every game got to be graphically demanding and revolutionizing the way we play? Then what's the point of upgrading? Then I'll just play the games on the older device, if that's what's going on here. I told you guys, gaming consoles have went from the same philosophy as mobile phones.
It started to create a bubble. See, Sony, in their own internal reporting, said they spent $350 million making Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 5.
See? You see? And they definitely didn't get that money back. That's for sure. I think the game did relatively decent, but they didn't get that money back, bro. I don't think there was enough PlayStation 5 sold with that game bundled in for them to make up for that lost money. And then people going out there buying the game individually, yeah. To me, Marvel Spider-Man 2 was a failure. Y'all can sit there, it's sold 4, 5, 7, 8 million. But if it didn't pass the 350 million that Sony spent on the game, then therefore it was a failure. It doesn't matter. That's like saying, oh, well, this game sold 20 million. But if the game got a budget of over 20 to 30 billion, then the game wasn't a success no matter how many people bought the game. You people don't know basic mathematics. And this is why I was trying to tell you. Y'all weren't listening to me.
The original Spider-Man on PlayStation 4 cost $110 million. That means they spent 3 times the amount for a game that is better, but it ain't 3 times better.
Exactly. That's another thing, too. They're spending more money, and yet the games are not even looking that much better either. I don't know, man. Like I told you, man, the concept of a console is coming to an end. I hate to break it to you, fanboys. I told you guys, nobody want to listen to Gamesta. So go ahead and collect your super chats because that's all you people good for at the end of the day. Because you people, like I said, I don't care if you people get super chats, but it comes to the point where if you're just spreading misinformation and you're trying to, play the community and act like these things aren't going on, then I don't think you're deserving of that. You know, a lot of people trust you in this community, your subscribers. I would at least expect you to be honest with them. Right? So hopefully people can see this video and say, you know what, Gamesta, I starting to see what you're saying. Now, if you hated my channel, now if you liked it, I already know we don't have no problem. But if you didn't like my channel beforehand, maybe you guys like, you know what, Gamesta, I apologize. I'm right. You clearly know the direction of gaming more so than these frauds. I'm going to unsubscribe and I'm going to start supporting your channel. And even if you don't, I don't care. But the point is, you people need to wake up. You have to wake up because at the end of the day, you guys are hurting the gaming industry, bro.
Now, this is apparently what they're terrified of, is that their games cannot be profitable.
Woo! Who said that? Gamester with another W. Who said that Sony wasn't making money on their games? Who said that? Who said it? While you PlayStation fanboys was denying it. Who said it? Don't let me go back to my old videos and play it. I don't even got to do it because I already know that I said that. Everybody knows. You people have been exposed, man.
Stay liquid. They can't actually just stay an independent thing if they're not able to generate more cash.
Which also means that Sony might not believe in having a console in the inevitable future, bro. Look at this, bro. Look at this. I've never in my life, I swear to God, now I see why a lot of people enjoy my channel, calling new people out, because look at that. I exposed the whole gaming industry. I exposed all you fake content creators, and look at it. And I happen to be right. You guys was calling me an Xbox fanboy, telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, just for these leaks to come out and be like, dang, Gamester was actually right. And you know what's funny? I don't even get my credit. I don't get my credit in this community, man. And I'm not asking for it, but at the end of the day, all I ask is for you people to wake up and start trying to do something about this. But nope, you're going to go back and find a way to pinpoint and blame Microsoft, man. You guys go to McDonald's, somebody messes up your hot coffee. Apparently it was Phil Spencer. He messed it up. It's Microsoft's fault. God dang, Microsoft. You know what I mean? You stubbed your toe when you hit the side of your bed. God dang, because I was thinking about Microsoft too long. I was on Twitter and this Microsoft fanboy bothered me. You're driving, you sit there, you see a car drive right by you. God dang it, the guy looked like Phil Spencer. Microsoft, I'm sick and tired of it. Man, he has his license plate started with an M. Microsoft. Blame Microsoft for everything.
Big exclusive. Now, a lot of people are talking about this is just completely insane, and this is a long-term issue. If a highly successful and respected developer under a successful console manufacturer is worried about breaking even on one of their most successful games, AAA development is just not safe. None of these developers are safe.
See, it says Capcom and Square reuse assets. I see that in the tweet as well. See, that's the only thing that's helping them. You see? Gaming is getting too expensive for Sony to be able to compete. No different than Sega. Like I said, nah. Hey, goodbye. Can we get everybody in the chat to go, nah, 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 what, nah, 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 what, yay, goodbye.
Certainly none of the Western ones. Capcom and Square reused.
Hold on, what? Did they just consider Capcom and Square Western company? Can we get a moment of silence, please? Are you kidding me? You really gotta be kidding me. Now I understand that Capcom and Square have been making more westernized games, but this guy, whoever wrote this tweet, don't know what he's talking about. Capcom and Square are Japanese companies. What? Guys, I bet y'all laughing in the car. I can't. You know what, man? I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say anymore. Do you see how foolish these people are? Certainly none of the Western ones, developers like Capcom and Square. Really. Capcom. I can't say nothing.
Assets at least.
I
it's
can't.
No longer a fringe conspiracy that AAA development is
inherently. I can't. It says they really didn't reuse assets for Spider-Man 2. Actually, they did. Digital Foundry made a video of that, of actually it using assets from the PS4 version of the game. See, the crazy thing is, if I had good editing, I would be able to edit these things in. But all I ask, if you don't believe me, just go look at it there. Just go look at it there. You know what I mean? Go look at one of their videos, because I clearly see it.
Sustainable without massive changes. It is now an undeniable fact. So,
wow.
Here's what we're getting at. Stupid. This does not feel like the solution to this problem.
But it is, though. But see, it is what it is, though. See, you see how you fanboys are trying to fight it? I guess you don't like PlayStation that much, because if you did, you would support it. You guys are not willing to pay to buy your games for $50 in parts or $80 to $100 at launch. That shows that you people are fake play. I'm not saying I would buy. I'm not advising anybody, but it shows that the people that say they support PlayStation 5 and care about PlayStation 5 being successful clearly don't. Because if you did, you would have no problem buying Spider-Man 3 in segments and also paying $100 for the game at launch. So therefore, it goes to show you that Sony has lost their consumer base. They have lost the loyalty of their diehard fans, and they're not willing to go that far for them.
I really don't know what is.
Look at this. Stressed out. Yep. Perfect. We all waited for the day, guys, man. I'm so happy that I was able to give you guys the truth and awareness. It's like I was setting all this up just for you guys today, man. It's awesome, man. I love that I'm enjoying it with all you. I love it that I'm enjoying this moment with every single one of you gamers that have been rational about this ever since we found out about this going on in the gaming community for quite some time. And it's nice to see Dreamcast guy be wrong in everything that he said leading up to this point.
I am an old school gamer.
Yep. There you go. That's the problem. Sorry to break it to you, buddy. That don't pay the bills.
Grown up and played a lot.
I'm an old school gamer. I've been gaming ever since the end. I've been gaming for quite some time. Okay? Atari 2600, you name it. All of them. Atari Jaguar, 3DO, Atari, everything. I touched almost everything. 32X, Sega CD. But anyways, regardless of all that, you people have to understand that that type of mindset don't make money. Sorry. It's outdated. I'm not saying that it is not good, but it's outdated. Most people play games, I told you, free-to-plays. Look at the most played games. The proof is right in front of you. But instead, you people rather deny and be delusional.
Games that had bad graphics and great stories. The original Final Fantasy VII, a lot of those people kind of look like Lego blocks.
Hold on. Hold on, bro. Don't be disrespectful. Hold on. What is you talking about, bro? Because now you're essentially saying, see, I hate when people do this. So essentially, I had to take my keys off. Look at that, I'm throwing my keys on the floor. So essentially what you're saying, that Final Fantasy VII wasn't next generation when the game, what are you talking about? Regardless of you think the game looks ugly now, but during the evolution of the Super Nintendo, leading up to the Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 1 was revolutionary. You could not say that the PlayStation 1 version of that game could have been done on the Super Nintendo. Therefore, that game was next generation when it came out in the time that it did. You can look back at it, oh, it's 97, the game looks absolutely ugly. Look at games like Final Fantasy VIII right afterwards. 3D models and everything, Chrono Cross, right? These games was beautiful 3D visuals on the PlayStation 1. Well, therefore, which means it was next gen because the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis could not do 3D like the PlayStation 1 can.
Still one of my favorite games of all time.
Yep.
This year, I completely loved Octopath Traveler 2. Doesn't exactly have the most incredible graphics you've ever seen, and yet it's a damn good experience.
See, so that goes to show you that maybe consoles will cease to exist because they have lost the true essence of what makes a next generation platform. Therefore, that means they can make games for everything, including the PS4. What is the point of a PS5 and an Xbox Series if they want to just go back to making AA games again? That's the argument of good quality games, because people have to understand, well, just make good quality games. It doesn't matter about the hardware. Then at that point, you don't want next generation. Do you get what I'm saying? Next generation is supposed to do things that the previous generation couldn't. That's why most people moved on to the next console. Not saying that the other consoles are obsolete or they don't make great games, but for you using Octopath Traveler as an example, then what's the point? The game could have ran on a 360 PS3. Then why do you have to buy a PlayStation 5 or any console of that nature to play a game like that? Do you get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we all inherently want to see what's bigger and badder in the gaming industry while also still enjoying our classics, right?
My point here is that I think as an industry, we need to find a way to move away from this obsession with hyper-realistic graphics.
What? I'm sorry, bro. I disagree. Make it more expensive. Stop selling them for $500. Start selling consoles for $1,000, $1,500. I would pay $100. You're like, what, GameStop? Yes, I would. I would pay $1,500 for a console. I would pay $100 for the exclusive games if they're actually really next gen, not this cross generation garbage that we got now. And me to be able to maintain my physical media. Yes, I would pay for that. You're like, Gamester, you're crazy. Yes, I would pay for that because I love physical media and that's the way I want to see console gaming. If the concept of $500 isn't enough for these companies, then I'm willing enough to pay more. Just like I'm willing enough to pay $100 also for exclusive games, which is so funny because you Sony fanboys wouldn't. But the difference is they have to actually be next generation. I am not paying $100 for some cross-generation Demon's Souls remake type of ordeal. It's got to actually be a next generation game for me to have to do that.
Some games having it is fine. Like GTA having crazy graphics, Red Dead having crazy graphics, Cyberpunk having crazy graphics. Like, that kind of stuff is understandable, but I think we're getting to a point where we're hitting diminishing returns.
No, that's not true because Microsoft doesn't have this problem. See, this is why I try to tell you, Microsoft can coexist because they are worth trillions of dollars. This is why Microsoft said that we're not in competition with Nintendo or Sony. They bought Bethesda and Activision not because of you, because of Apple and Google. Them coming into the fray of the gaming community, they weren't worried about you. They didn't care. Once they found out that Google and all these companies were trying to bid on Bethesda and Activision, Microsoft's like, you know what? We got to take care of this. We got to buy these studios.
And we've completely passed diminishing returns.
No, Sony has. Microsoft hasn't.
If your most popular game on the most popular console in the world is your biggest selling game of the year and you're still broke, something is wrong.
Told you. It is what it is, man. I told you guys. But there goes my ride. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video and have a nice time.